In this section, you will learn how to accept subscribers to your blog application. We will use the model view controller structure again, accept user input and store it into a database table. In the next section, we will create a page that lists all the subscribers and restrict its accessibility. I left in some simple errors that I made, which illustrates how a silly mistake can turn into a bit of a headache for programmers and developers. Okay, but let's get started again. Right, open up your terminal window and cd into your projects directory. So type cd and the name of your project. So I type then ROR projects/blog. And then open up your text editor. I type Adam space dot to open up mine. And let's open up a new tab in the terminal where we have our server running. So back to the terminal there. And here type Rails space S to start the server. Okay. Alright, server is running. Then open up your browser and let's take a look at our application. So type localhost :3000 in the address bar. Alright, scroll down to the footer. Here we want the visitor to be able to input their information, and a thank you notice will appear on top. The MVC procedure we need to go through to accomplish this will closely resemble the steps we did when we created articles. But let's remind ourselves what we need to do. So go back to your text editor and now go to the DB folder, to the schema file, and open it up. Remember, the schema file outlines the tables that we have. So we have the articles table and comments table. And now we need to create a subscribers table. Okay, we probably need to have them the first name, the last name, their email, and let's also put in their country. So back in the terminal, we need to create a model first. So type Rails space G space model, the name of the model, which we name subscriber. And then type F_name for the first name, :string. And then a comma, type L_name, :string. Oh, oops, F needs a G there. And then comma, type email, :string, and comma, and type country, :string. You know, actually I don't think we need the commas. Anyway, hit enter. I will show you how to get rid of them. It's good to go through a little error like this. But let's go and look at in our DB folder and then open up the migrate folder. And here you have now a new file. So open that up. And there we have the F_name, L_name, email, and country. This is the file we will need to migrate to our database. So back in the terminal, type rake space db :migrate. And we might get an error actually now then. So, okay, yeah, we did. So let's scroll up and let's take a look at the error. Right? Always read the output from the beginning. Alright, there we go. They had a syntax error. So since we had an error, let's go and look at one of the other migration files and see how they were structured. Okay, sure enough, they don't have a comma there. So let's go back to our migration file we just created and delete this comma. There we go. Okay, save it. Go back to the terminal and I will clear the window. And now type rake space db :migrate. Now all should work fine. Okay, there we go. Alright, cool. So let's go and take a look at this table in the schema file. There we go. So it created another table, subscribers, and we have the column names and the timestamps as well. So let's close these windows. Go to the config folder and open up routes.rb file. We need to create the routes for our subscribers. So type resources space colon subscribers. This will create the routes we need. It will create more routes than we need, because remember this creates a collection of the objects. Anyway, save everything and let's go to the terminal, and I'm going to clear the window, and here type Rails routes to display the routes. Okay, it's thinking. Alright, okay, so my font is a little bit too big and we'll make it smaller. So I clear the window, I will go down one size in the font, expand the window, and I type Rails routes again. I just did an up arrow to find Rails routes. Alright, good. Now it lists it clear and nice. So there we go. Here we have all the new routes for our subscribers. Okay, and we only need a few of this. So we need, remember the rightmost column here shows the controller we need to create and the action. So we need a create action corresponding to a post method. We also want to be able to destroy a subscriber in case we have some spammers, which is done with the delete method. And then we want to list all our subscribers, which is done with the index action. Alright, back to your text editor, and we now need to create a controller. But let's go to the app folder, to the controllers folder, and let's open up a previous controller. Let's open up the articles controller to remind ourselves how we need to structure this. Okay, so here we have the index action, we have the create action, the destroy action, and then we need a private method to pass the parameters. Okay, for the input form to make it more secure. We also, when we list our subscribers, we want that to be private and not open for everyone to see. Alright, so let's go and create our controller. So create a new file. I do a right mouse click to do so, and we will name it subscribers underscore controller .rb. Okay, so the subscribers here must, this is the controller name that we just saw in the list for the route list. Okay, all right, so first we'll need here to write class subscribers with a capital S and controller with a capital C. Type a less than sign and type application controller. This shows that the subscribers controller inherits from the application controller. Okay, and let's first create the index action. So type def index and then type end. Let's create our create action. Type def create and type end. And then we need to end our new class here. So that's important. And in here, let's start with the create action first. So let's go to the articles controller and look at the structure here of the syntax. So we have start with at article equal article.new. So we will then need at subscriber equal subscriber with a capital S dot new and parenthesis we will pass in the subscriber parameters from the private method in here. But first, the very first thing we need to do is to check if email exists in database table, right? Because we can't just have multiple people with the same email. So we do so by typing if subscriber dot exists question sign. So this is a native method for Ruby. Parenthesis, type email colon space at subscriber dot email. So this would check if the email exists. So if it exists, we want to redirect to, so type redirect underscore to root underscore path. And then we want an alert message to be displayed. So comma, alert, colon, quotation, and then we will type the message. So I will have a message displayed saying, sorry, that email already exists. All right. Okay. Now, after this, type else if, ELSIF. So if the email don't exist, we want to save the information. So type at subscriber.save, just as we did here in the articles controller. Okay, and here we then want to, when the information is saved, we redirect underscore to root path again. But here we want a successful notice to be displayed. So type notice colon and then quotation mark. And then we can say thank you. And here we want to put in the new subscriber's name. So type pound sign, curly brackets, within the curly brackets type at subscriber dot name or F underscore name. That's the name of that column. And after the curly bracket type a comma for subscribing to my newsletter. So this makes the message a little bit more personal. Right? Now we also want to condition if something goes wrong. So we need another else here. So this is a regular else. Redirect underscore to, we still want to redirect to the root path. So the redirect underscore to root underscore path, and here type alert colon again. And another message then. So let's do sorry, comma, I failed to save your information. And then please try again. All right. And now the if statement needs to have an end. So make sure our ends line up. So this end lines up with the if statement there, beginning, and the def for the action has an end as well. Perfect. All right, and let's do the destroy action later. But now we need to create the private method. So let's look at our articles controller again. So this is the structure we need. So type private. I can indent it a little bit. And here DEF. And then we name it subscriber underscore params. And then make sure it has an end. And in here type params dot require parenthesis, within parenthesis type :subscriber, and outside the parenthesis type .permit, parenthesis, within parenthesis type F _F_name, comma, L_name, it needs a colon there, comma, :email, comma, :country. Remember, this makes it more safe to have the input parameters within a private method. And then we need to pass the subscribers param, so copy that and put it into the parenthesis right there within the parenthesis of subscriber.new. Okay, let's now edit the input form in the footer partial. So go to the views folder, the shared folder, and open up the footer partial. Okay, so here's the form. Let's just comment out the HTML code first. So done with the less than sign, exclamation mark, and 2 dashes. And down there where the form closes, 2 dashes and a greater than sign. Let's go remind ourselves the structure of our form we need. So go to articles and then open up the new.html.erb file. This is the structure we need for our Ruby syntax. So form_form, and here if you see this says :article, so we need :subscriber instead. And before, when we did this form, we had Ruby and Rails generate our error messages. Now we're creating our own error messages. Anyway, back to the footer partial, open up the Ruby syntax and type form_form, :subscriber, and then comma, URL, : and let's go and check the path that we need. So go to your terminal, I'm going to clear it and then run rake routes. So now we can check our routes. All right. Okay, so we're going to need subscribers_path. And just as before in the new file, if you saw that, they had articles_path. So it follows the same logic. So back in your text editor, type then here subscribers_path. And then we need a do loop, do, pipe sign, f, pipe sign, and close the Ruby syntax. Okay. And now we need to output the form. So Ruby syntax again, less than sign, %sign, equal sign, type f.text_field, and then :f_name, and then comma, and let's have a placeholder, colon, and let's put in quotation marks, and then put in first name, and then comma, and let's go and copy the styling we have for the input form there, and paste it in right there, and then close the Ruby syntax. All right, so let's just copy what we have here, and then we can just paste it below and replace whatever we need. Okay, I'm just going to indent it a little bit here first to align everything. There. There. Okay, so replace the F with an L for the last name and replace first with last. Okay, so let's paste this in again. There we go. And indent it back to align it properly. There we go. Okay, this needs to be to an email field instead, and change the f_name to email, And the placeholder comments, change that to your email. Okay, that looks good. And remember, we actually need colons here, not the equal sign. So change all that. We now also need an input form for the country input. This is done with the select method that would list all the countries. So here, open up the Ruby syntax again, less than sign, percentage sign, equal sign, and type f.select, colon, country, comma, and here type options underscore for underscore select, and then parentheses. I'm going to move this to a new line because it's going to be a little long. Within the parentheses, do square brackets, then single quotation, type country 1 for just an example, and next single quotation, country 2, and single quotation, type country 3, and then next one, country 4. Each one needs to be separated with a comma. Alright, this creates a little array of selection of countries. We later expand on this and make it maybe put all countries in a helper file. This actually, the select doesn't take a placeholder, it takes a prompt. So you have to type prompt colon and then within single quotation select your country and then close the Ruby syntax. Okay, we're almost done with the form. We now need a submit button. So open up the Ruby syntax again and here type f.submit. Okay. And then within quotation type submit. And let's type the submit button. So we're just going to copy the code here, the styling code for the button HTML, and paste it in here. Put a comma first and change the equal sign to a colon and close the Ruby syntax. And then everything needs to have an end because it's a do loop. Okay, just checking so all the syntax is correct in the previous new file. Okay. And then type end. This does not need an equal sign, remember? And I will put a little hold here because of this siren outside. So see you in a bit. Bye. Alright, so much more quiet. We're now going to create our index file in our view folder, and we have to create a new folder, subfolder. So do a right mouse click if you can, or however you create a new folder within the views folder and name it subscriber. And within this new folder, the subscriber folder, create a new file and name it index.html.erb. .erb. There we go. Okay. And in here, let's just give it an h2 header for now. So, sorry, to open up an h2 tag. And in here, just type something like hello from subscriber.index.html.erb. And close the h2 tag. Not Ruby. h2 tag. There we go. So here we're just going to eventually list all our subscribers, but this will do for now. Let's go to the browser and check everything. So open up your browser if you don't have it open. Okay. And now we type localhost 3000 because I'd closed my browser, so I need to open it again. There we go, colon 3000. And let's see how it looks. So I was thinking, there we go, scroll down here. Okay, So there we have our forms, but the placeholder didn't show up. But let's just input something. So I would just do testing, and that's it. Okay, so we got if you look up in your address bar, actually, we got the output message, but we got the output notice. Since we didn't put in anything but a name, first and last name, we should have gotten the error message. And it did not display to the screen. So we will check those things first. So what we need to do first is actually we need to validate the form. So go to your model and go to the article.rb. Remember, here we put in validates and whatever we want to validate. Okay? We need to do a similar thing in our subscriber.rb model. So in here type validates space colon f underscore name comma l underscore name, and it needs a colon comma colon email colon country, I forgot an N there, we go, comma, and here type presence PRESENCE colon true. So this means that all these forms for the name, first name, last name, email, and country must be filled in. Otherwise we will get an error message. And also now go in the views folder, go to layouts and open up articles.html.rb. And in here within the div class container, open up a new div tag and give it the class of show underscore notice. And here open up the Ruby syntax, less than sign, percentage sign, but no equal sign, and then type if notice. Close the Ruby syntax, and here open up the Ruby syntax but with an equal sign and type notice. Close the Ruby syntax, and then here type end without the equal sign. Oopsie, end, END. There we go. And close the div class with a closing div. Oopsie, div. There we go. Okay. This will output the notice to the screen. So we need one for the alert, so we can just copy this, paste it in below, and wherever you see notice, just change that to alert. So here, and change here to alert as oopsie, alert, ALERT, and here as well, alert, and save everything. So this should actually output our notices on top of the screen. And also I saw I spelled use ladder instead of letter, so I just changed that as well. And I'm just going to move this up to one line. It doesn't have to be that way, but it reads more like a sentence than if else if subscriber.say blah 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 blah. All right. And here, the reason we didn't see the placeholder is because I had misspelled and I forgot the L here. All right. And since we copied and pasted this down, it completely didn't show up. So go to the browser, refresh. Perfect. Here is now our placeholder. And let's test it. So fill it in again. I put in test. And then I type testing, and let's put in an email. I'm just going to type new at test.com, and then I submit without the country, so we should get the error. Okay, we still had the error in the address bar. It should have showed up on top of our screen output, but the error is correct. So let's just refresh, and we're going to try it again. So let's fill it in correctly this time. So let's first put in something. I will put in new, and in here subscriber, and I would put in a new email, or a different email this time. So test. I have a few things. I tested it before, so that's why all those things show up. So I would put in a test1 here, because that is an email I haven't used. And then I select a country and hit submit. All right. Okay, so we still had, so this is the thank you notice, but it still showed up in our address bar, so something is wrong. Now we have a third way of testing error. That is the one when submitting with an email that exists. So I will do that, and then I will choose an email country here first. Actually, I need to choose the email first. Since I have tested it, I'm choosing an email that I have used before. And then I hit submit. You might not have this now. All right. So what this tells us is that one error worked, but not the subsequent error worked. So it tells us that is something wrong here in the subscriber's controller. And sure enough, I forgot this comma right there after the root path and the notice a root path alert. Okay, so save it. Let's go back to the browser and refresh. And now I will put in test the new name again. I will say hi, hello, and I put in an email, hello@testing.com. I select the country and I submit. So now the error should show up. Yep, and it did. And even the name, if you see, it says thank you, hi. Good, and that was the name of first name of the subscriber I put in. Let's test the other error that didn't work before. So I put in a new another name like hey, and then I will skip the last name and I will put in a new email address. I will put in a country, and since I forgot the last name, we should get the second error saying something went wrong. Sure enough. Okay, so that worked. So that was my mistake. It was just a little comma that didn't work. All right, I'm gonna stop here, and I have made the other video and it will be up shortly. All right, see you soon. Bye bye.